Talking of those, so you told me when I was advertising the bio and I needed to correct it. No, with the teasers, that you've done 6 Cinderella retellings. So how do you make them all original? What are the main differences between them, and why all Cinderella?
Because it's a thing I do. So my first Cinderella retelling that I published was Cinderella, and it was a contest that someone was doing where they were like, take a classic literature and bend it into a new genre. I'm like, okay, I'm going to make Cinderella into an adventure story. I had 1,000 words to do it. I barely fit it into it, and then I eventually rewrote it to about 10,000 words and published that. Um, so I gender swapped it, so it was a male Cinderella going off on an adventure to rescue a princess instead of a princess going to a ball. So that was my first one. And then I think my second one is Cinders, which is in the Tales of Ever After anthology.
Mm-hmm.
Um, um, oh, I was talking about like, hey, I need to enter for this thing, but I don't know what to write because of like it needs to be a short fairy tale under 6,000 words. And the lady who's collaborating, she's like, well, I've got this image of a fairy godmother coming to the rescue of this poor damsel in distress, and she gets there and it's a cat who's like disgruntled with it. And I'm like, I think I'd make a Cinderella retelling out of that. Um, then my next one is in the Volcania Quests. That's the Merchant of Venice right here.
Love that name, by the way. It's absolutely awesome.
Retelling of the Merchant of Venice.
Yeah.
This one is, I'm not gonna say it's the most insane. Like I think the most insane one is the one where King Arthur, it starts with King Arthur in Robin Hood's camp and it ends with Joan of Arc ending the 100 Years' War, which she also started 100 years before,
Oh.
but fell asleep with Sleeping Beauty, so you know. Um, Ending this 100 Years' War with a marriage alliance. That's that one is possibly the most insane grouping, but this one's close. It's the Cinderella, the Merchant of Venice, the Odyssey, the ending of the Odyssey specifically, and Pirates with some bride vibes.
So you don't just do fairy tales, you do like pretty much everything. You've done Jane Austen, you've gone into Shakespeare,
My next one,
the Odyssey, Homer.
yeah, which is Pride and Prejudice Cinderella. And then okay, so the Villains Ever After happened. And for a hot second, like I was legitimately stalking Amazon as the books got uploaded. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I like I followed 3 of the authors and all 3 of them had hinted. And so I was just stalking, like, who's in this set? What days are they? And Nina Claire with her steps mother and the steps and the stepsister and the slipper was the last one uploaded. And like as I'm looking at all their books, and I'm like, they don't have Cinderella yet. What would Cinderella be like? You know, the stepmother and the silver slipper. Like that is what my brain came up with. And then she got hers up. But you know, I had this idea of the stepmother discovering that her stepdaughter is just involved in this conspiracy of the silver slipper.
Mm.
And I had to write it. I paired it with some other retellings, other villain focused fairy tales that had um, conjured in my head, including Little Red Riding Hood from the wolf's perspective, and a mashup of Snow Queen and Snow White from the Evil Queen / Snow Queen's perspective. That one worked really well, in my opinion. Um, So that was my fifth one. The one that's coming out next month is a political intrigue of a new series that I'm launching, which is very fae magic. It is kind of a sequel to Destroy an Illusion. So there's a prequel. So you're gonna get to see a bit more of the fae magic and stuff. It's not as meta as that one is so far. As I get into the climax, it may the faishness it needs to more accurately. But that one I'm like, hey, what if the title came to me as like Pumpkin War. I'm like, ooh, that's a good title. And I'm like, what if Cinderella was a plant? She was there. She's actually the daughter of the neighboring king who has a vendetta against his neighboring country, and they sneak her in so she can undermine the kingdom from the inside.
Okay, wow, that release isn't coming soon enough.
I think it's coming a little bit too soon because I still need to write about 20,000 words. Well, tomorrow you can hear to tide you over. My Rumpelstiltskin from Rumpelstiltskin's Perspective releases tomorrow. It's in the same series as my Once Upon a Twisted Time, which is my villain fairy tale. Now, I will say it's a little bit of a lie that I'm about to release my sixth one, because on Vella I have another Cinderella retelling. This one's a mashup with Beauty and the Beast, and that one is Sarah's fault.
Well done, Sarah.
Because her pumpkin her pumpkin seed book got posted. I'm like staring at it, and I'm like, you know what would be cool? Like, I'm like looking at the premise of like bride competition as a Cinderella retelling. And I had just read 2 other bride competitions as Cinderella retelling. And I had also read so many bride competitions as Princess and the Pea retelling. I'm like, those 2 need to mash together. And she's like, oh, well, actually. So I'm like, oh, that's interesting. She's like, but you can totally do it too. I'm like, well, I don't need another plot idea. I don't have a series to put this one into. I was like, hang on, I can make another series. This one that is just Cinderella mashups.
Oh, wow.
So it's a series of just Cinderella mashups. And for some weird reason, I decided to do the Beauty and the Beast one first. Now, I actually almost also released, was going to write a Cinderella superhero novel this year, but I didn't get the superhero Beauty and the Beast done last year. And I just was like, quietly took them off my plate. But I want those to happen at some point.
Something to look forward to. Okay, so I'm a bit worried about time because it's not showing me how much time has passed. Oh, Sarah says, no joke, Kendra had a list of like 12 titles within an afternoon. They're all brilliant. That's awesome.
I did. Oh, I did it while partying. Okay, my day job is a party host at a gym. So I'm like sitting there. Okay, what about Beauty and the Beast and Cinderella? How would I do that? Oh yeah, time loop. Okay.
That's so cool. I love that. You just get cooler and cooler by the second.